So clearly you're still seeing sales declines and volume declines, even though they're looking better than they have in previous quarters. Give us a sense of what you're seeing out there in the market as we have seen a resurgence in COVID cases and with that lockdowns.
Yeah, absolutely. Unfortunately, we've seen an increase in the cases coming into the winter in the Northern Hemisphere in December and through into January. And then, logically, there have been more lockdowns, which is affecting our sales. I think the good news from the company's point of view is, we've been able to learn through the course of this crisis on how to adapt, how to be flexible. And so whilst we were impacted mid-single digits on volume in the most recent months, that's much better than what was happening in the second quarter as we've adapted our strategies and taken control of what we need to do to both win in the at-home channels that people are flocking to and as well in the away-from-home channels as they adapt to the current environment and really help us prosper in that context.
It sounds like you're also seeing some light at the end of the tunnel, offering guidance for the first time since the pandemic and a return to growth. What's driving that optimism?
Yeah, I mean, clearly, as we went into the crisis, it was kind of peak uncertainty, and we'd done a lot of work looking at the past 100+ years, the Coca-Cola Company and crises of economic, military, and pandemic types. And we formed a pretty clear view of a couple of scenarios on how might this play out over a number of years. And that's, as we've learned and adapted, it's been tracking in line with that. So whilst there is uncertainty and volatility, particularly in the near term ahead of us, we feel confident about the corridors we're setting for the top line and the bottom line guidance. And we believe that we'll be able to emerge stronger from this crisis, get back to growth, and get back well ahead of our 2019 levels, even before the broader economy. And we feel confident in the corridors, given the experience and given the learnings we've made over the last 9-12 months.
When you think about regional recoveries, the U.S. versus Europe, South America, is it just a matter of who gets vaccinated the most, the fastest, as far as what the recovery looks like?
The recovery, clearly the level of vaccination is a factor in terms of the rate at which any country can recover. But I think it's not just the only factor. Of course, the underlying macro conditions and the policy choices will play an important factor. Also, of course, frankly, the age profile of the population also makes a difference. There are a number of younger developing market economies which won't get the vaccine as quickly as perhaps the US will, and yet their economy might bounce back given their age profile and given their macroeconomics. So the vaccine is very important in terms of its influence in the top line, but there are other factors, and we balance them all as we think about how to invest and how to drive growth for the Coke company going forward.
Another pandemic question. What are the biggest changes that you've seen from consumers in what they buy and in how they buy that might stick past the pandemic?
Clearly, the consumers have adapted. And the ones that I think are very likely to stick are clearly a big uptick in e-commerce. Obviously, e-commerce is much more important to a number of other sectors. It's really started to accelerate in terms of grocery, in terms of beverages. I think that will endure. And I don't mean e-commerce just in terms of what you buy to have delivered to the house, but also in the away-from-home channels, the amount of takeaway, the amount of delivery. What will also go along with that is a much more digitally enhanced, contactless world. We've adapted a lot of our vending machines, our fountain machines, freestyle machines, Costa Express machines to be much more contactless. And so I think that interface is also going to be a permanent feature going into the world, and it's part of living our lives in a much more digital way. So there will be these enduring features, but other things will come back. We're social creatures. We like experiential. Experiential things, and we'll go out and about and enjoy the world as we get through the crisis.
Shepard Smith here. Thanks for watching CNBC on YouTube.